you said you're doing twice a day?
Twice a day. Yeah.
Can you break down kind of like what you do in the gym, sets, reps, exercises?
I go in spurts, honestly. There's weeks where I'll focus on nothing but static. And
Mhm.
those weeks where I'll focus on nothing but dynamic, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on what I'm training for, right? And for me, I think the training part of it, you'll get a million different answers on what you should or
Yeah.
shouldn't do because we're all different athletes, right? I can't train like Devin or Todd because I'm not fucking Devin or Todd. I've trained like Devin. I've tried to train like Devin. When I first started, it didn't go so well. I don't have the leverage. I don't have the genetic freakishness he has. I just don't have it. So I've had to find what works for me in my style of arm wrestling and address my weaknesses and make those my strengths. That,
Okay.
for me, that is the foundation of how an athlete should train with respect to arm wrestling. If you know who you are on the table and you're not trying to mimic anybody, yeah, are there things that are fundamental and things you should work on? Absolutely. But if you're mimicking someone's style 100%, to me that's almost a mistake because that's not you. What's your style? How are you on the table? Are you training center of the table? Are you training back, side, pronator? I mean, what are you? So finding yourself is key. But for me, I kind of bounce around a little bit. I focus a lot on my hand, a lot on back pressure, a lot of dynamic, static, and whatever I'm doing, I do it twice a day. Just that simple.
Is
you
it
know?
um is it like there's like a volume and then there's like like a low volume heavy, or how do you break that down?
Um, I don't really do a low or a high. I'm always consistent around like a 70 to 80% type of range. I don't go above that. I really don't dabble in one PR. I just don't. I don't do a max. Um, I don't train a shit ton of side pressure because to me, I think side pressure either comes with time or. And every time I've tried to train side pressure, I usually get fucking hurt, so I kind of stay away from it. But
Yeah.
it's um it's kind of all over the place, man. It's nothing really consistent. I kind of dabble with new things because, for example, if I train my hand, right, cupping, let's just throw cupping out there, and I train cupping 2 weeks static. By the end of that second week, I'm probably going to fuck myself up because I'm overexerting myself, right? I need to change something in that training, right? For me, maybe not for other people, but my weird ass bones and this lump I got right here from pulling
Yeah.
Jake
Well, what
Smith.
is that? I was gonna ask you.
I, I tore up my TFCC and my ulna back in the day pulling Jake Smith, but so I've got very little cartilage in there. I've got arthritis; it's pretty bad. I can't pronate all the way. My hands like it's all fucked up. I don't know, but yeah, man. I mean, it kind of you kind of just have to find me at whatever I'm doing at the time. It's kind of like a 2 to 3 week thing. Sometimes I'll bounce around between static, dynamic. Sometimes it's cupping. Sometimes it's back pressure. It kind of floats.
Have you ever
Sporadic.
used you ever used a coach before?
Never. I talked to Reza the other day at the tournament, and we have a very similar outlook on how training should be, right?
Hmm.
As far as center of the table, the connectivity from your hand, wrist, elbow, lat, that the whole dynamic and domino effect, if you will. He gave me some good advice. I think I might have maybe gave him some good advice. I don't know, but we had some good conversations. But I've never went by a coach though.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna use
Yeah,
Reza as a coach on after Chris Back recommended him. I'm like, hell, it can't hurt.
yeah,
He did recommend a lot of the statics too, just like you
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. We talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of my stuff is on the table too. Like I've got one of those pulley systems on my table and whatnot. So I think whatever I try to do, it has to feel real, right? I see a lot of guys doing workouts with so many different handles, right? And I mean, does it
Yeah.
feel real? Because my whole thing is, does it correlate? Does it translate to the table? And I don't think it always does. That's just my opinion. You can have 50,000 handles. Do they all translate? I don't think so. I think some do, some don't.